In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how a student went from $0 to $35,000 in under just 2 months. I'm going to be sharing the whole strategy with you, and we're telling you what apps we used, how we did certain things. So guys, if you really want to know how we did it, you're going to want to watch this video till the end because I'm going to be giving you the whole strategy. Now, also, I'd recommend that you like the video. It just helps me get seen by more people on the YouTube platform. It would really mean a lot to me if you guys could just do that. If you're new to the channel, then you need to subscribe to the channel because there's so much value that I give away for free on this channel. It's unreal. Now, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody as well who's been supporting me, helping me grow. We're almost on 7,000 subscribers. That's unreal, guys. I'm so grateful and thankful. It's unreal how grateful and thankful I am for you guys. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, I want to do a live stream very, very soon. So let me know in the comment section below what time, what day works best for you guys. And let's see if we can hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of September. That would be amazing. So let's dive straight into the content and show you the whole case study. So I'm going to start off by giving you guys the proof. So you can see here the dashboard, the days that we did it. So you can see here the days, we can see the total sales to just show you guys that I'm not lying and it's proof. So you can see what we've done. This is the dashboard. So like I said, it's just a bit of proof because I know there's a lot of gurus out there that are showing some lies, some fake screenshots. There's ways that you can fake the numbers and stuff like that if you go into the coding part of the website and stuff. So I just want to show you the proof that this is what we've done. Now I'm also going to show you an app that you're going to want to use to work out your profits and losses, and that app's also going to show you that this is real and this is not fake. So straight away, the app that you're going to want to use is this one right here called Lifetimely. Now this works out your profits, your losses, your marketing costs, your product costs, and like I said, this app will just prove that everything I've just shown you is real. So guys, you can see I'm in the app now. I definitely recommend that you get the app. You get a 30-day free trial with it, and it helps you work out your profits and your losses. So you can see here the revenue, and you can see here the net profit. So the net profit should actually be around about 12,000. It's a little bit out as well with the cashback with the student. The student's got around about $1,000 in cashback, so he's made around about $12,000 in profit. So it's really, really good numbers there. We would have made a lot more money, but in the time we've done this, there was a lot of Facebook problems. Facebook had a lot of glitches, a lot of algorithm problems, so it really did slow us down. We should be at around about $50,000 to $60,000 in revenue at the moment with around about $20,000 profit margin. But like I said, as you guys know, there's been a lot of Facebook problems due to the new CBO'S stuff and the algorithm. So we've had to scale a lot slower, and the revenue's not been as great as we wanted it to be. So as I'm saying, guys, this is just proof, and this just shows you how to do your profits and your losses instead of having to spend ages and ages working it out yourselves. So let's move into the strategy, guys. Now we're going to start with the strategy. I just wanted to show you some proof before we got into the strategy, so nobody starts saying some silly things in the comment section below. So before you even watch this video, you need to go watch the first video I made about this, which was the 0 to 10,000. If you haven't watched that video, this video will not make sense. So you need to go watch that now. I'll leave it in the card section below. Now, also, I just want to say, if you haven't already, so guys, we're going to get straight into the strategy now of how we did 35K in revenue. So if you haven't already, you need to go watch the first video, which was 0 to 10K, because if you don't watch that video first, this whole strategy will not make sense. You'll be like, what the hell are you going on about? So I'll leave that video in the card so you can go watch it, then come back to this video and it will all make sense. So like I said before, we use the app called Lifetimely to keep track of the profits and the losses. I definitely recommend you get this app. It's completely free for 30 days. If you don't like it, you can delete it. Also, it's just a great way of finding out what your profits and losses are. At the end of the day, we're humans. We can't calculate numbers the same way a calculator or a software can. So that's the reason why I recommend getting it. It will just save you so much time and hassle. So let's start with the strategy then. So we put the best performing 5 cold ad sets that were getting 1 to 3 sales a day into a CBO. Now a CBO stands for campaign budget optimization. So that's very important that you understand what that means. Now we set the CBO at $50 a day so we can test the CBO strength. Now you're probably wondering what I'm on about. So you want to be doing CBOs at minimum at 50 a day, and we put $5 ad sets in there. Now the reason why we want to test the CBO strength is because CBOs are a new feature. They were mandatory by September, but Facebook's pushed them back to 2020 February. So CBOs are not quite where Facebook want them yet, so they are a little bit glitchy. They are not as consistent as normal ad sets, but they are a great way to scale. So we start the CBO at 50 just to make sure that if the CBO isn't a strong CBO, then at least we're not losing so much money. So that's the reason why I recommend you do $50 a day when you start doing this method, guys, because at the end of the day, business isn't just about making money, it's about making sure you don't lose money as well, or you won't be profitable. So we used the ad creative that was performing the best in the testing phase. So in the first video, I'll talk about testing different creatives. So when we worked out which creative was performing the best, we used that in the CBO campaign. We left the CBO to run for 3 days, so a whole 3 days over 72 hours. So what we were doing when we were letting the CBO run is we were looking at the data. We replaced the ad sets in the CBO that were underperforming with the next best called interest. So if there was ad sets in the CBO that had a lower ROAS than 1.5, we were replacing them with the next best called interest in the normal campaign. So we're just replacing them with the next best ones, and we kept letting them run for another 3 days, another 3 days. After the CBO started getting sustainable, we increased the budget by 50, so the new budget was 100 a day. So this is very important. So after 5 days, so what we normally do is every 5 days, if the ad sets are getting continuous strong performance, then we'd increase the budget by another $50, that'd make 100, and then we'd do the same another 5 days, which I'm going to get onto now. Every 5 days the CBO performed consistent, we increased the budget by $50. So every 5 days would be 50, 50, 50, 50. Till we hit a budget that fatigued, then we lowered it to the last best performing budget. So what this means is we started with 50, let's say we got up to $450 in daily budget of CBO, and we increased it another 50, it went to 500, then the campaign just fatigued because the budget was too high. We'd lower the budget back down to 450 where it was best performing last. I hope that makes sense, guys. So in this whole process, again, when you're switching around ad sets, it's just every 5 days of it performing well. That's what you need to do, guys. It's very, very important. Whilst we were running the CBO campaign, we were still running cold ad sets with new interest to find the best cold interest. Now, guys, this is very, very important. Although we were running CBOs to scale the budget, because at the end of the day, normal ad set budget increasing isn't just working as well as it used to. So increasing your ad set budget at the moment just doesn't work as well anymore. It just doesn't scale as well. It fatigues too quickly. The reason B is because Facebook wants you to scale with CBOs now. So that's the reason why we do the CBO scaling, the way I just told you, $50 every 5 days if it's performing well. So it's very important that you still test cold interest, because at the end of the day, you want to try and create as many CBOs as you can with the best performing ad sets so you can scale and scale and scale. So that's the reason why we do this part, guys. So it's very important that you understand that. So we can create more CBOs to budget scale, so that's what I just said. We were also duplicating the best performing cold ad sets and changing them to e-packet countries to test the e-packet market and collect data. So in the first video, I talked about we were only doing the top 5 countries, which is the UK, the US, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, because they're the best performing countries in terms of buying. So what we did then is the best ad sets that were getting 1 to 3 sales every day. So if an ad set was getting every cold ad set that was getting at least 1 to 3 sales a day for at least 3 days, we were then duplicating that ad set and changing the countries to e-packet countries as well, because at the end of the day, sometimes e-packet countries can do better than just the top 5, and sometimes they can do vice versa, they can just do worse. So testing e-packet out is very, very, very important. At this point, we implemented some upsell tricks to increase the AOV, average order values. That is what that stands for. We used the warranty upsell trick. Now, this warranty upsell trick is amazing. It works so well, and I'm going to leave how to do it in the cards here so you can learn how to do the warranty upsell trick. We also used cross-selling with related products. So what we did was we added cross-selling as an app, and we just started to do cross-selling upsell. So you know when you're on the product page and at the bottom of the product page it says related products or get the look, we added products that were similar to the one that we were selling, so just to increase the average order value. Now I'm going to teach you a little bit about average order value and upselling, because a lot of people do this part wrong. When we were doing upselling, we were making $5 to $10 profit per upsell. Now it's very important that you guys understand what we did here. So like I always say to you, on the 30 products a month, the best 30 products, you want to be making at least a $15 profit margin per product. Now that's as the main product, and what I mean by the main product is the ad. So when you run ads, you're sending the traffic to a certain product. So whatever you're sending the ads to that product, you want to be making a $15 profit margin minimum on that product. But when you're doing upsells, you don't need to be making as much money. You want to be making at least a $5 profit margin. You don't want to be doing $15 in profit. As soon as you make the upsell more expensive and more profitable, because if you're more profitable with the upsell, then it's going to cost more normally. That's how it works. So the more you charge for the upsell, if it costs more than the actual product itself, it's not going to work, guys. So don't worry about only making $5 an upsell or $10 an upsell, because at the end of the day, what you're trying to do here is you're just trying to get, because at the end of the day, you're paying Facebook for traffic. So what you're trying to do is maximize the money you're making from the traffic. So if only you're making an extra, even if you're only making an extra $5 per traffic, then it's good, guys. So don't get greedy greedy with the upselling. That's where people go dramatically wrong. Like I said, stick to the $5 to $10 profit per upsell. We started VC retargeting when we got to 1,500 view contents. So retargeting is basically going and hitting the same people that have seen your ads before. Now you need at least 1.5 thousand view contents for this to actually work effectively. We created a new ad creative for the retargeting campaign as the traffic is now warm. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is when you're doing retargeting, you need to create a new ad creative, because at the end of the day, these leads and this traffic is not cold anymore. These people know you, have heard of you, and have seen your product before. So you want to make it more detailed to the people that have seen it before. So for example, you could put in your ad creative, hey there, it's us again, or hey there, it's our brand again, or whatever. Make them feel like, oh yeah, we remember who you are now, that kind of feel. So that's what you do. You create a new creative for the retargeting campaign, because like I said, it's warm traffic now, and we still are doing $5 ad sets, guys. So like I said in the start of on the first one I made, I talk about how much we were spending on ad sets. It's still $5 in the scaling method. We offered a 10% coupon for the retargeting people. So when you're retargeting, you need to give them an incentive to then go out there and buy it. So we gave them a 10% coupon code. We started with VC 180 days, excluding add to cart and purchase. So when you're doing view content retargeting, you want to make sure that you're doing 180 days and you're excluding the add to carts and the purchases within the 180 days too. We duplicated the ad set 3 times after 48 hours, only if it was a 2.0 ROAS. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is we let the add to cart retargeting run for 48 hours, and if the ROAS was a 2.0, we duplicated the ad set, that was the retargeting ad set, 3 times to reach different ad pockets. Then we made an ad set for view content 14 days, excluding add to cart and purchase, and we applied the same rules for the view content 180 days. So what I'm saying here, guys, is when we did the 14-day add to cart, we applied this same rule to this one here, just to make sense for you guys. Then we did the same for 7 days, 3 days, and 1 day view content. So we applied the same rules for the 7 days, 3 days, and 1 days. So if this doesn't make sense to you, when you're doing retargeting, you can retarget certain people in the certain day count, which is the conversion window, or say the conversion funnel. So you start at 180 days and you work backwards, only as long as you're getting ROAS, that's 2, and you're getting sales. So I'm just saying that when we did it like this, we applied the same rule, which was this rule here, to each one. After the process, we created an add to cart retargeting and applied the same rules and the same method as the view content retargeting. So what we did here is what we did exactly the same for the add to cart version of retargeting, but we just excluded purchases. After we finished the add to cart retargeting, we put the best retargeting ad sets into a CBO and applied the same scaling rules, the ones mentioned at the start of the video. So when we got here, guys, is we created a new CBO and we put the best performing retargeting ad sets into that CBO. So now we had around about 3 CBOs. One CBO being the cold ad sets, one CBO being the retargeting ad sets. And what I don't like to do is I don't like to mix my CBOs with cold traffic and retargeting ad sets. That just messes it up in my opinion. So like I said, we had one CBO, which was the cold ad sets, and another CBO with the retargeting ad sets that performed the best, which is what I'm talking about here, guys. And like I said, we applied the same rules for the CBO retargeting as we did for the CBO at the start, which is you leave it for 3 days. And then what you do is every 5 days, if it's doing well, then you increase the budget by $50, $50, $50, $50 every 5 days. So what I'm saying here is we applied the same rules as what I said at the start of the video. Then we finally moved to lookalike audiences, and we started with the first one being view content lookalike audiences. We made 10 ad sets, the first ad set being 1%, then we worked up with the other 9 ad sets. So what I'm trying to say is we created 10 ad sets, then what we did was we created one ad set being 1%, another ad set being 2%, another ad set being 3%, another ad set being 4%, and basically we had 10 ad sets, one ad set being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10%. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. And we left everything completely broad. We excluded purchase in the ad set, and we left that at $5 a day as well. So the lookalike audiences were also $5 a day. And guess what? We did exactly the same thing. We did the lookalike audiences for view content. We did the lookalike audiences for add to cart. We did the lookalike audiences for purchase as well. And then the best ad sets we got in the lookalike phase, we put those in a CBO as well, and we scaled the CBO with the same rules that I told you at the start of the video. If they perform well for 3 days, for the first 3 days, you let them run again for another 2 days. If they perform really well for another 2 days, you increase the budget by 50. And then if it does it well again in another 5 days, you increase it by another 50 and another 50 and another 50. And that's literally the process that we followed for the lookalike audiences. So when you get to this part of the video, when you're doing this yourself, you should have one CBO or however many CBOs you've got for the cold interests. So let's say you got 2 for the cold interests, 5 cold interests in one CBO, another 5 in another CBO. Then you should have some retargeting CBOs with the best retargeting ad sets in a CBO. Then you should have a lookalike audience CBO with the best lookalike audiences in that CBO. Then you should be scaling them with the campaign budget increase of $50 every 5 days. And that's the way I like to increase and scale my budgets. And that is literally the whole method we use to get to that $35,000 in revenue. Now let's talk a little bit about how you get mentored by me and how you can achieve the same results by working with me. Now, in my last video I made about the 0 to 10,000, a lot of people were asking me, Camille, how do I get mentored by you? How do I work with you? So what you need to do is you need to go into the pinned comment in the video, and there'll be an application form, or you can go into the description of the video and there'll be an application form. You need to fill in the application form. If your application is successful, I'll arrange a call with you over Skype and we'll discuss the mentoring details in further details. Now, the reason why I do the application form is because at the end of the day, not everybody's in a position to work with me because it requires certain things. So that's the reason why I have the application form. Now, that is it for today's video. If you've taken value, then please like the video and I'll catch you guys in the next one.